I thought I will take what he did to me to the grave.
He looked loving, not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath. You have no idea of what I went through.
A lot of women were being abused by this man. I had no idea. I thought I was the only one.
You thought you were in the safest place in the world and you were in the most dangerous.
I didn't know that that thing had happened to anybody else.
These are children of 16, 17 years. He kept all of us in slavery. Total, absolute slavery.
Okay, so a very big welcome to this particular platform, Penax TV. Exactly 3 years ago, the fateful day of on June 5th or 5th June 2021, that's almost 3 years ago, we brought an update here on this particular platform to our lovely subscribers that TB Joshua, who happens to be the leader of the Signal Church of All Nations, Squan to be precise, had died. Now, the way he died and the way and manner he died was something which was really disastrous or painful or perhaps pitiful, because he was preaching, he went for a nap, he was just sleeping, lying in his chair, like just resting after the shower, after his shower, and all we heard was TB Joshua has collapsed, and they apparently rushed him to the hospital. But even before they could rush him to the hospital, word came out that he died even in his chair while taking a nap. And many people really sympathize with him, because TB Joshua is not just any person. He is a person who is very popular man of God, both in Nigeria, in West Africa, and even various parts of the world, talking about India, Turkey, and others. So when the news came, many people sympathized with him, and the church did well by actually organizing a very big funeral for him, which kind of marked his passing and even celebrated what he did in terms of the ministry of God. Now, fast track, 3 years after this man's death, there is an explosive expose which is yet to be released by the British Broadcasting Corporation, that's the BBC. Now, this particular explosive expose details some S assault. Now, when I say S, you should know it's sexual. So S assault by TB Joshua, not just S assault, and also not just S assault, but also abusive. Let's see, in terms of me saying abusive because of this whole YouTube terms and policies, I'm going to say A assault. So S assault and A assault, all these things were done by this man of God. Now, TB Joshua died on June 5th, 2021. 3 years, just a few months after his death and burial, we saw that there was some tension at the church, because as at then, the next in kin, or the person who was supposed to take all over the affairs, there was tension. People, there were a section of people who wanted the junior pastors to carry on the legacies of of TB Joshua and continue preaching, and then there were a section of the church who also believed that TB Joshua's wife, Evelyn Joshua, was the person who is the rightful person to ascend the throne. But in all of these, people were saying that the word of God is a calling. It's not perhaps a family hierarchy or some sort of a lineage which runs through a family. So if somebody is due and the person is a younger pastor and has been through all the process and he qualifies, give it to the person. But then after months and also years, almost a year of deliberation, news came out that Evelyn Joshua, that's TB Joshua's wife, who is taking over as a head pastor of the Signal Church of All Nations. And fast track today, even though the church activities and a whole lot of things have really gone down, BBC just a few minutes ago on Twitter says that they are going to release a 3-part explosive expose which is going to expose TB Joshua. Now, as I said, this is going to span from S assault, sexual assault. It's going to also go on to some of his alleged abusive assaults on certain members, not just women but also men, and also some of the fake miracles he staged and some of the things he did behind that shield or behind that mantra as I'm a man of God. And this definitely is going to really rock the remaining what is left of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, because as it is now, I know a lot of members have stopped. The church is not really beaming like first. We know that the church plays over and over TB Joshua's former tapes, or the tapes that he aired, which aired whilst he was alive, and that's what they usually do, coupled with some preaching which comes from the wife, Evelyn Joshua, who is now the church pastor or the head pastor. But then the Squan, or the Synagogue Church of All Nations, that we all knew some years ago when TB Joshua was alive, let's not shoot ourselves in the foot and laugh. It is not the same. Things and times have definitely changed. So based on this particular thing, we don't know what will happen if all of this expose is being dropped on social media, and even how prepared is the church going to respond to these allegations, because it is definitely of a grievous nature. And one thing that I want you to understand, I want you to take a clue from all of these things is these were former members and even current members of the church, and even these are employees, or these were some employees of the church. So they knew the day-to-day activities, and some of them are saying they were hired to do certain things which did not really make sense. So we don't know what is really going to happen when all of this expose is being drawn on social media, especially Twitter. People are contemplating, and there's a huge debate. Now there are scores of people, obviously, who have come out to say that the man of God was alive. How come you were not able to speak up? Now he's dead. If these allegations are true or untrue, he's dead. Now the fact that he's dead, that doesn't mean that anything that he did which was against someone or which was abusive to someone can't really be brought up. It can be brought up, but then at the same time too, we know that he also needs to have that liberty, that time to also defend himself, because trust me, I don't know how to put it, but all these claims will come, but at the end of the day, is TB Joshua going to get a fair trial? Is he going to get a fair trial? Is he going to also say his side of the story? And how, in terms of verification, I believe in those survivors and stuff. But at the end of the day, someone will ask, how all the accusations which is coming, TB Joshua, he also has a right to defend himself, and now he's dead. So we just be throwing things at him, and unfortunately he wouldn't be alive to defend himself. The church would do their best to release a statement and also conduct investigations, and also sympathize with anything that TB Joshua did to any person whilst he was alive. But at the end of the day, that is not going to change anything. The big question is, how can he defend himself, and the remaining legacy, or what he thought he had left on this earth, someone who says being just thrown away into the bin or being tarnished, maybe for the rightful reasons, or perhaps for something that he really did. But at the same time too, there are scores of people who are saying that they should have spoken up whilst they were alive, and there are those other scores of people who are also saying that how could they have spoken up when this man was so powerful, controlling the realm of Nigeria religious activities. In fact, TB Joshua, the top 3 prophets in Nigeria, he can't go away without mentioning, or you can't list them without mentioning TB Joshua. So if you come out and say something against TB Joshua, it's not just the nation which will come at you, it's the whole Christian fraternity. Your own fellow colleagues will call you a liar. Perhaps they'll even say you are possessed by some sort of spirit or something. So people believe that it's now the time for them to speak up, because this is the only opportunity they have left. It's mixed feelings, but at the end of the day, we believe that BBC expose, which is yet to be released, would be watched with a keen eye, and at the end of the day, we are all analyzing this very crucially, and this whole documentary, we will be the judge. But at the same time too, the other party is there, so we don't know how he or she can also respond, or he can respond to this allegation. We started this early because we believe this is going to really ignite some fury and fire, and at the end of the day, I believe it's best we start the heat this moments, so that at the end of the day, any update that comes in regards to this particular trending or developing story, we will give you. But at the end of the day, what do you think about this yet to be released expose? Do you think it's really going to cause havoc? Are you ready?
I thought I would take what he did to me to the grave.
He looked loving. not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath. You have no idea of what I went through.
A lot of women were being abused by this man. I had no idea. I thought I was the only one.
You thought you were in the safest place in the world and you were in the most dangerous.
I didn't know that that thing had happened to anybody else.
These are children of 16, 17 years. He kept all of us in slavery. Total, absolute slavery.